Hey there, Andrew here with Friffy Films, and today on Editing with Andy, we're going to take a look at the media browser. Let's jump right into the computer and check it out, shall we?
Pull up your solitaire, take a seat, just candy. It's editing, it's editing, it's editing, it's editing, it's editing with Andy.
Oh, hey there, and welcome back. If you're following along, in the last episode, we sort of organized our footage in different folders and things like that, and sort of got it ready to import into Premiere. So, without further ado, let's launch Premiere Pro. Might take a second, at which point I like to kind of dance for a second when it's getting ready to go. Alright, let's start a new project, shall we? We'll call this Drone Test Video, and then we are going to put it inside that same folder. This is how you can keep everything all nice and neat and all that. So we're going to do that 831 folder 19. We're going to drop that project right there. Boom, right? So now it's pretty exciting. Let me slap this away from here for a second. So now within this project, or within this folder, you have your project you got going on there, right? So there's never any reason anything should get lost and become, offline and stuff like that. It should all just be right in that same folder, and you're going to dump all of it right in there, right? So actually, you can do this a couple different ways, right? Importing your footage. First of all, I guess I should say that this is the media browser. We kind of went over this in the introduction. I'm going to use the tilde key to maximize this. Your media browser, you can browse your computer, you can browse what's within your project that you just created, and you can browse different effects and things. You can also add different windows here. I'm going to start with these for now too. To import media, you can either do Command I, right? You can pick whatever you want there. You can double click down here in the media browser. You can go up to File and Import and pick your stuff. Alright, so then we're going to take our stuff. I'm going to take everything except, I'm going to hold Command, and I'm going to take everything except for our project, because we don't want to import the project into the project, because that's sort of weird, right? Boom. And there it is, all nice and neat and laid out with our files and everything like that. Actually, I'm going to hit the tilde key again, and I'm going to create another bin, and I'm just going to label this Drone Test Video, and I'm going to just have that one kind of hold everything in here in case I want to hide everything at one point, right? Boom. So that's exciting, what we got so far. Now the next step, what I typically do is I typically go through and I color code everything. So you have these things over on the side, and I think if you, oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to close that panel. I just double clicked there. Oh, and by the way, if you're following along and you're using a PC, I will put the time marker towards the bottom, and you'll be able to skip ahead and go ahead and see the PC instructions for this part of the tutorial. Anywho, so I'm going to select my audio bin and my audio clip. In this case, most of the time you'll probably have more. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go down to where it says labels, and you'll see a bunch of different colors. You can basically select different colors, so that way you can see in your timeline and in your media browser, you can kind of easily see what is what if you color code everything. So I usually keep my audio green. I'll do the B-roll here. Let's do B-roll. I usually do blue, I think, because B-roll, blue, because it's like the same letter, so it makes me think of it kind of deal, right? I usually do. And you can see let's see, if I would just drag this in, see how that's blue right here? If I would drag that in there, the actual thing is gonna be blue. I'm gonna just delete that because I just created a sequence. You can also just create a sequence there by just dragging it in. So I don't want that. Like I said, that's why I like to color code everything, because it's actually gonna show up in your timeline that way as well, and not just in your media browser. But this just makes it so you can easily kind of, at a glance, see what clips and where you're at with things. These are my Canon clips, so this is like camera, so canary, like I usually think like yellow, like camera, canary. Isn't there one canary, Caribbean? I forget. I thought there was a yellow. I don't know, yellow, it's like gold because that's like the star. That's probably like the one I'm going to use the most, right? Oh, whoops, that was actually the T3i. Whatever, I'll do that one too. Whatever, T3i can be that. The point is you want all your separate clips to be a little different. I'll make that one mango. How's that sound? That one's a little different. Drone clip. What should we do? Drone. Label. Drone. How about, I don't know. Let's do violet. Right? We'll know the purple ones are there. I don't know why I'm doing this so tiny down here either. I'm going to use the tilde key again, which is the weird little squiggly and then the comma underneath up in your top left corner of the keyboard. We'll do the 8+ clips. Just pick a color. How about rose, right? We'll know the pink ones are the plus, and we'll know the iPhone XS Max are the, I don't know, brown ones, right? So look how nice and neat. Look, we didn't even start anything yet, but just look how nice and neat our project is here, right? They're all color-coded and all nice. Next, within your window, we're going to actually create the sequence that you're going to work with. Whoops, I need to open that here. So we're going to go down here, not a new bin, we're going to create a new item. We're going to choose sequence. We're going to do AVCHD 1080p, 24 frames per second. We're going to hit OK. And I forgot to rename that. That was my bad. You can simply go to the sequence and hit enter, and I'm going to call it drone test video. Boom. So now we have a 1080p 24 frames per second sequence in our timeline here, right? So that's the frame size, that's how fast it's moving, 24 frames per second. And yeah, boom. So now we have a spot that is going to hold all of our videos. Another thing I usually like to do is I create a new bin. I usually keep one for sequences in case I have more than just, you know, the main video sequence. Oftentimes you'll have more than that in there. A lot of times, like instead of this one being called drone test video, a lot of times I'll actually call this one like video clips or something like that. And then I'll know where that is. I actually do usually separate the audio. Yeah, and you can also right click and hit new bin right there too. Oftentimes I'll have the audio separated so I can quickly get to that as well. And we can label, I don't know, boom. I'll just kind of label these over on the side so we can kind of differentiate between them. Where'd the green go? Why can't I see green? You guys see the green? Whoops. Seriously, I don't see green anymore. Oh, maybe it was forest. That's why. That's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna label my sequence something different actually. Label teal. Right, now everything else should be good and labeled how we labeled it, right? Boom. So now if you go in and say you're just kind of building out your sequence, right? Keep existing settings. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can actually see. So say you need a couple clips from the T3i, right? Say you need some from the T5i, and everything is just really nice and consistent and just nice and neat and clean, and you really can see what's happening before. You kind of can see clearly. Oops. Scale to frame size. Go right click, scale to frame size. It should be good. You'll really be able to kind of just go through and be able to clearly see. Sometimes I'll put them on different parts of the timeline too, but you know that these are drone footage. These are from the Canon T5i, these are Canon T3i. You got some blue B-roll in there, right? In case you have like one of those, so you know what's up with that. It just really keeps everything nice and neat and organized. Again, maybe you'll have like a multicam sequence in here so that you can start putting all of your sequences in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much about it, right? So if you have anything from this, you know that this is from your phone, and you can sort of see how you very easily can start to differentiate and tell what is what. And believe me, when you start working on projects that are pretty huge, that have a couple hundred different cuts and things like that, it really, I can't stress enough how much it will save time and energy and stuff when you're trying to look for a certain part, or again, sharing projects with other people and stuff too. Maybe you're not the only one working on it. You can make it really easy for people to kind of tell which part is which and stuff like that. So that is the media browser. Again, in the media browser tab here, you can actually search for different things instead of going to and importing. You can actually go through and search on your actual computer and kind of drag things in that way as well. And then of course you have your little effects panel down here too, and you can kind of go through and search for and type in effects. This is an audio effect right now, so I'm going to grab amplify. You can drag it into the audio, right? How about transitions, right? If you're looking for different transitions or color or anything like that, you basically can go and find it and then just drag it right onto your clip that you're trying to affect, basically. Like color balance, right? Boom. So that's sort of what you use your media browser for. Importing all of your files and kind of collecting and organizing all of your files for your project, you know, in a nice color-coded, orderly fashion, you know, if you want to stay organized. And also for searching through effects and things like that, and picking and choosing what you want to do in your timeline, basically. So that's all I got for you. Again, I'm still learning every day, and I'm not saying I'm the best or know everything, so if you have another tip or something, be sure to send it on over to us. We'd love to hear it. If there's anything that can make, you know, speed up the workflow and stuff and make it faster and easier, I'm always about that. So thanks for watching, and if you're new here, remember to subscribe, because on the next episode we're going to go over the timeline window and everything there is to kind of know and do with that. And we're going to keep going with this thing until we're freaking pros, because remember, you can create any freaking thing you feel like as long as you put the work in and press record. Anyways, keep it real, and I'll catch you next time on Editing with Andy. Peace.